If you would have told us when we met that we would, 7 years married, have 4 adopted children, we would have probably laughed. And I never felt at peace doing some of the infertility stuff. So we started just really seeking God and wanting to know what His will was. And so we started looking into adoption, and we started the process to become licensed as foster parents. And then in September of 2011, on a Friday evening, I was at home and the phone rang, and I answered it, and it was our agency saying that they had a 2-month-old and a 14-month-old, and they needed a place for them to go. God just poured that over me. I just said, yes, we'll take them. And we just took it a day at a time, because the agency had told us there was an ongoing case with their biological mom, and she was working her services to get the children back, and we didn't know a lot at the time. As the months would go by and we were building this relationship with the biological mother, I knew that God was calling us to do more than just parent these children and be foster parents. He was calling us to be a mentor to this mother.
And we just kind of chose to prepare for the worst. But the best situation too at the time was for them to go back to their biological mother.
So then August of 2012, Kevin and I packed up all their belongings, and I prepared a list of things to help her with parenting the children, things that they love to eat, and their special routine at bedtime, and anything I could do to help set her up to succeed. And at that moment, Kevin and I just had to have complete faith in the Lord.
It was a rough day. It was a rough several months after that. And actually, I was probably the worst the day that they went back, because I had kind of like prepared myself for it. You got to be strong. You got to be strong. And I remember that morning, our little boy had come in running into the room, and he was excited to leave because he knew the lady who was picking him up. He just thought he was going somewhere. So obviously I knew where he was going. And man, that was rough. That was really rough.
Yeah, it was tough. We put them in the car, and we walked in our house, and we closed the doors, and all their stuff was gone, and it was quiet, and it was probably some of the darkest times.
Yeah.
She did go on to have another baby as soon as Bryant and Araya went back, and Gianni, sweet little Gianni, came into the world. 5 of her children came back into care June of 2013. And at the time, Kevin and I had received a phone call from her. She had asked us if we would take all of her children, and we honored that. And then Mom was pregnant, and she had told me this, and we didn't know, again, how the story was going to turn out. This baby was going to come into our arms, and she was born on November 25th, and she came to our home the day after Thanksgiving on the 29th of 2013.
These kids have been just as good for us as we have been for them, because they've given us something that we so desired. I think our hope and dreams is for these children are that they follow God's will, and they do more for others than they do for themselves. I get the response of, there's no way I could do this. And the reality is yes, you can. And I'm certain that God will give anybody who wants to do this the strength to do it.
I kept thinking, I can't believe you have called us. You have called us to do this, and I just never in my wildest dreams would have thought this is what it was, but it was the most peace. As much of a struggle as it was, He gave us peace because we were doing what He was calling us to do.
are the Kimbles, and we are sent.